Click bbc.co.uk/5live.
Could this be the strangest musical combination you've ever heard in a while?
A drunken hour, but heaven knows I'm miserable now. I was looking for a job and then I found a job, and heaven knows I'm miserable now.
Yeah, you see, I think they should have put congratulations with heaven knows I'm miserable now. Anyway, yin and yang there, the unmistakable sound of Morrissey and before him Sir Cliff Richard, who both will be taken to the stage in New York this June when Sir Cliff will be supporting Morrissey as part of his US tour. But how did such an odd pairing come about? Well, the BBC's Colin Patterson spoke to Sir Cliff about the upcoming gig.
About a month ago, my manager rang me here in Barbados and he said, I'm going to throw a curved ball at you. Morrissey wants you in New York with him. You've got an hour. And I said, okay, my answer is definitely yes, but can you check that it's not a joke? Is there an ulterior motive? Anyway, he got hold of Morrissey's management and they said, no, Morrissey's a fan and he'd like you to be there. So I said, yes, please. I mean, the chances of singing to 15,000 people in New York are pretty well nil for me at the moment anyway. So I thought it'd be great. I caught up with him. I checked out on the internet and saw a couple of shots of him live, and his audiences look really, I don't know how to say this, they look really nice. I saw very nice-looking women with husbands or boyfriends or whatever. They were swaying in the crowds and they were mouthing lyrics with him, and I'm thinking, oh, my audience do that. So maybe his audience will be kind to me.
How aware have you been of his music over the years?
Oh, well, I mean, I knew of him even when he was the lead singer of the Smiths, and it was. I can't say that I've followed his musical career, but I've followed his success, and I've always believed, when people have a lot of success, it kind of rubs off on all of us. It's part of what we all are. So I've been playing. I Googled him a couple of times now, and I'm thinking, oh, I could be a fan.
What songs do you like?
I don't know. I couldn't tell the titles. I just Googled him to see actually what kind of crowds he played to, and what sort of show he did. And I'm thinking, okay, it looks like a pop rock show. I know he's very political with his lyrics and stuff, which is fine by me. I'm very much a pop rock singer who sings. I suppose I must have made a couple of statements in my time, but I tend to be much more of the middle of the road style of singer. So I'm going to enjoy it. That's for certain. And as I'm assuming now, the more I listen to him now, I'll be able to answer questions like, "What ones do you like?" Because I don't know. I wouldn't even know what title of an album to ask for at the moment. I just know his name. It was very easy to spell. And I found out his name is Patrick, but I'm not quite sure whether he likes to be called Morrissey or Mr. Morrissey or Pat.
You should definitely check out The Queen is Dead. That's the classic Smiths album. That's a good starting place, I think.
Oh, okay, I remember that title.
Actually, you mentioned politics. He is no fan of the royal family, whereas you played the Queen's Jubilee concert. I imagine you could have some interesting conversations with him.
Yeah, we could. I have interesting conversations with most of my friends. I've got a circle of friends, and sometimes I find we're poles apart politically. We're poles apart in many areas, and if we're sometimes together on a political feeling or a political issue, there'll be differences somewhere else. That's life. So to me, it doesn't surprise me that he has a different viewpoint of monarchy than I do. But yeah, if we get a chance to talk, but will we though? I mean, our industry is such a strange one. You come in, you say hi, and you do your show, and you go, and he'll go to Los Angeles, and I'll go back to Barbados or somewhere, and you don't really get a chance to cement a relationship very easily. I mean, I know Elton, for instance, but can I call him my bosom pal? No, I can't really. We've just worked together. We've done shows together. We like each other. We say hi and hug, but then you leave and you lose that element that is actually the relationship. So I don't know whether we'll get time to talk, but I believe everyone should say and feel their philosophy is as valuable as anybody else's, even if you disagree with it.
So all those years of doing Top of the Pops, you've never crossed paths with Morrissey, have you?
No, not really. I don't remember meeting him there. I did. I mean, I'm allegedly the person who's done more Top of the Pops than anybody else, but that's only because I've been doing it longer than everybody else. But so no, I never did meet him.
He had a quiff, though. That's something you've got in common with him.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Listen, he also has very strict vegetarian rules surrounding his gigs. Will you be going vegetarian for the day?
Certainly not. No, of course not. I'd like to think he might eat some meat when I arrive, but I wouldn't expect him to. So I don't think he'll expect me to be vegetarian. But if it offends him, if I found that he was offended by people eating meat, then I won't eat it in front of him. But I'll have a chicken curry afterwards. I just feel that people that are aware of pop rock in all its forms, you'll find that that same audience will go to a number of other concerts by other people who might have total different philosophies and even a different style of music. So in the end, what you have to do is try to be the best you can be of what you do. I've always been a pop rock singer. I like to move and shake and leap around the stage and sing a variety of pop rock songs, which includes ballads like Ocean Deep and Miss You Nights. Of course I'm going to do them. And people without hearts would perhaps turn you down. But it seems to me that most audiences have a heart for music. So unless I am really despicably bad that night, they don't have to love me, but they might think I'm okay.
Will you be more nervous than usual, do you think?
I don't think so, because I'll have done this show. And remember, my show is 2 hours, 20 minutes long. I'm going to cut it down to the best 1 hour segment I can make it. I'll obviously, I have had hits here in the States. I did have 2 songs in the top 10, Devil Woman, We Don't Talk Anymore. They would have heard of Wired for Sound. They know suddenly that I sang with Olivia, and I'll do that with my backing girl singer. And then, of course, the stuff I do from the new album is all going to be music that, they're all Americans, for crying out loud. They know Buddy Holly, they know Chuck Berry, they know Elvis Presley, they know Little Richard. So I'm just going to make it really difficult for Morrissey to follow me.
He's actually given you a little tribute in the past. In 1989, he did a B-side called Lucky Lisp as a tribute to your song Lucky Lips. Any chance of you playing that?
Oh, well, I don't know. In fact, funnily enough, I could do that one, but I'm going to wait and see. Once I've got my 1 hour of real good stuff, if it includes Lucky Lips, that's okay, because, in fact, I will be doing that on the tour because it was a huge #1 in Germany. And I'm going to Germany, and so therefore I'll have to have it in the show. It was a #1 for weeks and weeks. But Lucky Lift, I love the idea of that. Anyway, if he wants me to do a duet, I can do a duet of Lucky Lift with him.
What's the biggest... Hey, I like that. You're offering to do a duet with Morrissey. I like that.
No, I'm not offering. If he wants to do a duet. No, I'd rather just do my own show. I'd rather just concentrate on what I'm going to do. And I don't want the pressure of anything else. But Lucky Lift, I think that's really funny. I like it.
You've had 14 #1 singles. Morrissey's not had any. Do you not feel it should be the other way around, that he should be supporting you?
No, not at all. People don't know me in America. I mean, that's why I had no problem saying yes. I mean, if Morrissey asked me to support him in England, I would question it greatly. I'd say, well, no, you can have the first half, and I'll have the second half. But this is a different world out there. Morrissey's done something I've never done. I've never had a huge following. I've had 9 top 30 hit singles, but I have no identification out there. So many people know him out there. He has a large following out there. So all I can say is thank you, Patrick, or Morrissey. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how to refer to him. But I'm so grateful that he's even thought about having me on the show. I'd love to play to 15,000 people in the States, and now I will.
Did he really explain why he'd picked you?
No, I've only heard that he likes me, and that's it. The words were, he's a fan of yours. And so I said, okay, that's enough for me to hear. He doesn't have to be a stalker, but if he's a fan, that's fine by me. I think it's a great honor for me to be asked by someone like him, because no one would expect him to ask me.
What's the biggest...
And that's what I like about it. I like it. Like, nobody expected me to sing with Van Morrison, but I did, so there.
So we're at the gig. You've got the 15,000 people there. How are you going to start it? What's your first number?
I'm going to do what I tested out, and it works really well. It's a Chuck Berry song called "Still Reeling and Rocking," and so I'm going to start with that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I think I won't. Sometimes I say I will, but then I won't. And it's all about dancing at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, still reeling and rocking.
And Tom Jones is the other support act. He's doing 2 shows.
Yeah, he's in LA, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, well, of course, Tom has a following in America anyway, and people like Tom, you know, he's always amazed me because his voice, I don't think it's changed at all. I mean, it's just been good all the way through. Whereas for me, I feel that my voice, I've improved over the years. I don't think I was that great when I started, and but he has just got a voice that stays and stays and stays. I love his voice, and it's still. And you go listen to him live. It's fantastic. So, I mean, again, Morrissey's being very, I don't know whether it's clever, but it's certainly intuitive that, in point of fact, his audience is going to cover everything. And I'm sure he does it because he probably knows that his audience are going to think, what a great singer Tom is.
Got myself a crying, talking, sleeping, walking, living.
So, as Sir Cliff was saying there to Five Live's own Colin Patterson, nobody knows him in the United States. We'll find out, shall we? Let's talk to our native New Yorker, Tara Godomsky. Tara, I understand you have just come off stage performing.
Yes, I did. And it's not true. People know him here. I got off stage performing, and I saw the email from the producers that were up all night saying, does anybody know Cliff Richards? I did a quick poll here at the theater, and out of the few people I did, I got, yes, he's that old guy. He's that old guy from the 60s. I heard his name before, but then I had the gentleman who designed the sound for the show, knew him very well, knew his songs, said he was a great rock and roller, said he was the biggest rock and roller from the UK before the Beatles, and was very respectful. So a lot of people know who he is here, and I'll tell you, people who are in their 20s even know have heard of him. Although the people who knew a little bit more about him are not in their 20s. We'll say that.
I'm not sure if they know about the same Sir Cliff Richard. When you say he's an old guy, he's actually only 20 years old. At least he looks like he's only 20 years old.
Exactly.
So,
well, see, we respect that in the UK. We respect that in America. We respect as much work on your face as possible. I mean, look at some of our stars like Kenny Rogers and stuff. So we don't have any problem with plastic surgery here.
Can you explain, though, why Cliff Richard, with 9 top 30 hits in the States and a huge following here in the UK, is less well known in America than Tom Jones?
Why is he less well known than Tom Jones? I mean, Tom Jones had, I guess, a certain sex appeal with the certain ladies that maybe Sir Cliff didn't. But I think, and I'm actually, like I said, standing right next to this gentleman who knows a lot about it. And I'd say what he said has a lot to do with it. It's basically, that I think the Beatles might have overtook. It was just the wrong, bad timing for Cliff Richards when he was sort of becoming popular, and the Beatles just sort of came right over him and sort of wiped him off, I guess, the cultural map here.
Do you know, he did say that when he comes to the States, he's going to stick to his rock and roll stuff, and lots of our text messages have been suggesting that he should do just that.
Yes.
His rock and roll stuff, he's going to start with reading a rocking Chuck Berry tune. He might even do this one, which you might not know, but it's a good one. What do you think of this? Yeah. Sounds like Bo Diddley, but this is actually Cliff Richard. Listen.
Well, I know a cat called Wee Eyed Willie. He's got a cool little chick called Rockin' Billy.
So you never knew Cliff Richard could do Bo Diddley, did you?
That's impressive. Cliff Richard can do Bo Diddley. That's very impressive.
It is impressive. And his own words as well. Willie in the hand jive, this is. Do you think he will go down well in the States, though, as an aged rocker who looks like Peter Pan, but is actually playing tunes from the 50s?
I think he will, and you know why? I think why. Okay, Morrissey fans here are intellectual types, so they're going to appreciate his musicianship. They are going to appreciate that. But on top of that, Morrissey fans do tend to be a younger, there's a big younger fan base of Morrissey fans here. So I think that younger fans here, like we're talking about like hipsters and people, are really appreciate some of that vintage kitsch that we get from the UK. And the third reason, Dotton, is, let's face it, anything from Britain is good here in America. We love everything that comes from Britain, no matter what. And so I really think that we're going to maybe become bigger fans of Sir Cliff than you guys are in the UK, because we're going to appreciate that kind of kitschy Britishness he's going to bring.
And make sure that I support you on tour there. Yeah, I'm coming over. I'm British. Yeah.
Exactly. That's all you need to do.
Thanks very much.
First for breaking news and the best live sport.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
It's 2 o'clock. Good morning. Here's Nathan Turvey with the headlines.
Thanks, Don. After a brief respite in the weather forecast to say another storm